Hi everyone. Welcome to Wellness Munch. As promised, today we are here with a new topic on psoriasis and diet. I know psoriasis is not something that we often heard. It is basically those red patches that your skin get often. Actually, many of us get this problem, but it's just that we don't know how to call it. We don't know the name of it, so we really don't can't express properly. So you only get to know the name when you visit a dermatologist and they tell you what is the exact term for it. It's like red patches all over your skin. Patches are very flaky kind of, and that we often get all over our body, or few get it on scalp, and few get it on the elbow, knees or hands, or at the back or something like that. So these red patches, it has a very deep rooted connection to what you eat. Why psoriasis? Why does this kind of problem happens? There is one reason is it is genetic. Even if it is genetic, it has been clearly seen that yes, of course, you have a predetermined gene which can actually get triggered, but that doesn't mean this problem will occur to you. It's just that your risk is little high. You have to be rather more conscious. If your lifestyle is perfect, you will not get this kind of problem. But apart from genetic factors, because it is an autoimmune disorder. So basically you have some inflammation in your body. Actually, your immune system is extremely confused. They're overworking, and instead of targeting the foreign elements, your body start presuming your own cells, your own organ as their enemy. In psoriasis, your body gets so confused, they start targeting your skin. The point is now, okay, fine, if it is genetic, if it can be controlled with your lifestyle, and if it is autoimmune, now the question is, fine, tell me how can we fix it? No one thought that this kind of skin disease will have so much of importance, with their diet. But it is clear that when you tweak your diet, this kind of psoriasis attack, the episodes of psoriasis attack, because there are times those who have this kind of problem, they know, they get this kind of patches, and then after a few days it will subside or it will be under control, but again you will get a vigorous attack of psoriasis lesions. So you can pretty much control these episodes fixing your diet. Now I'll tell you what are the food to have, what are the food you must avoid, what are the things to do, what are the things you should be avoiding. Let's discuss what are the food you should not be having first. Okay, since this is autoimmune and it's related to your inflammation level, because there are few culprit in our regular diet thought to be creating inflammation. Number one, first, avoid dairy. I have seen there are many who just out of no reason they have stopped taking dairy product. I'm not saying that. What am I saying is, if you have this kind of problem, this kind of psoriasis, then you can try to avoid dairy, because it has been seen when we keep patients out of dairy and dairy product, they feel better. The symptoms are under control. Now, how will you understand which food you are sensitive to? It is very simple. You have this food and you see whether this lessens, this attack is going more, or it is getting under control, or it is same. So basically it's a trial and error thing. But one of the common element which has been seen is dairy and dairy product. But again, you might not be sensitive to dairy at all. It can also happen, okay? So let's presume you are sensitive to dairy and dairy product. Then in that case, what will you do? You have to avoid all kind of milk and milk product. That includes your curd, your ice cream, your buttermilk, paneer, chena, everything. So it's not going to be very easy. Every kind of dairy product. So that means you can't even have milk in your tea. You have to avoid all kind of foods which has any milk solid in it. For example, mayonnaise, or there are many foods, many foods which use milk solid. So you have to avoid those as well. Okay. Now you can ask me, so am I supposed to have almond milk, or am I supposed to have cashew milk or coconut milk? So what is the alternate? The question is, best not to go for any kind of alternative. If you are not, your body is not at all accepting milk and milk product, you don't have to go mad to get an alternative of milk. because even if you're getting almond milk or something, you know, it is again a kind of a what should I say, like advertising gimmick, that you create a fear among people on dairy product and then you start selling the alternatives. Okay, so I'm saying be very cautious, do not fall into that trap. If you're not having dairy product, fine, you will have enough other food to enjoy your to make your daily diet balanced. But yes, of course, if you are someone who cannot actually live without milk, then you can fool yourself by having soy milk or maybe almond milk or coconut milk or something like that. But is it mandatory that if you are not having milk, you have to have some milk alternatives? No, it is not. So first was dairy product, second is gluten. Now again, gluten has been bashed up by everyone, especially in the Western diet lately, that gluten is bad. Again, I'm saying in India we eat roti, sabzi since our childhood, and most of the Indians are fine. Gluten sensitivity or gluten enteropathy, whatever you call it, that is restricted to a very small number of people. But yes, of course, if you fall into that group, then you must avoid gluten as well. Now it looks very fancy that I have gone gluten free. I have seen many who loves to say that I have gone gluten free with a biscuit. So do not do that mistake. If you are going gluten free, that means you have to completely say goodbye to barley and wheat products. So whenever we say this is just a 2 words, wheat and wheat products, but it includes huge number of food with it. That means you cannot have atta, maida, or any food which is being made with atta and maida. That means all your noodles, your pasta, your biscuits, all kind of namkeen, bhujia, everything is a big no for this. Okay, so life is really tough, that you have to say, if you have to really say bye bye to gluten. Okay, so do not keep yourself, in fact, any food which contain gluten, or like any food which contain wheat or any kind of barley product, or barley or wheat for that matter, you just have to say no to this. Okay, so this is very important. So first was dairy, second was gluten, third is you have to say bye to all kind of packaged, ultra packaged and processed food. Why? Because now you are sensitive to sugar. Okay, so what is left? You must be thinking that today Soma is here only to say give us bad news, right? Unfortunately, yes, you have to say bye to your sugar. So all kind of packaged and processed food. The fun part is, if you look at any packaged or processed food that you have right now, even if it is as basic as biscuit, you will see milk solid and refined flour and refined sugar. They are a very common ingredients in any kind of ultra processed and packaged food, okay, in any ways. So since you have to avoid sugar, since you have to avoid your wheat and of course your dairy products, so at एक झटके में बोलते हैं ना, एक झटके में ये सब आ जाता है उसके अंदर. तो you have to say no to any kind of packaged, ultra packaged and processed food, because it is clear that they are extremely inflammatory, extremely inflammatory, because all the ingredients that are generally used to make this ultra processed and packaged food, they are all very inflammatory in nature. And if you are having psoriasis, you cannot afford to have any kind of inflammation in your body, because your immunity is already over alert and they are already making a mess in your body, right? So they are just assuming that your own skin, your own healthy skin cells are actually your enemy, and they are keep attacking your own healthy skin cells. So if it is happening, then you cannot afford to enter any external source of inflammation in your body, right? So you have to say no to that. Now fourthly, what else you have to say no? Of course, tobacco, alcohol. So these things you have to say bye bye. Forget about drinking or social drinking or normal regular drinking, whatever. However you are the drinker, you have to say bye bye to alcohol as well as tobacco. So no smoking, no chewing tobacco. Like from every source you have to forget about smoking and consuming alcohol. Extremely important, because they are potent cause of inflammation again. And after that, now probably the most difficult one, that you have to say bye bye to your nightshade vegetables. I know I have never mentioned about nightshade vegetables in this group ever before, but it has been seen that nightshade vegetables are also creating trouble for psoriasis patient. Now does it have any scientific background? This is more or less anecdote based. So basically people have reported that when I have avoided nightshade vegetables, I was fine. So based on basically people's experience, we are saying that nightshade vegetables may not be a very good choice for patient with psoriasis. Now what are nightshade vegetables? Nightshade vegetables are basically your potato, brinjal, tomato, and any kind of pepper. It can be capsicum, it can be bell pepper, it can be normal pepper, or any product which is which is a derivatives of pepper. Okay, so that includes the mirchi as well. Okay, so the green chilies as well. So you have to say bye bye to all this. No potato, no brinjal, no tomato, as well as no pepper. It's difficult, I know, and especially saying no to potato and brinjal and tomato is pretty much disheartening, because in every food we use this, right? So yes, if you have psoriasis episode, you have to stay conscious with this 4 food. Now apart from this, wait, there are many more bad newses. So the last bad news is you have to say bye to citrus fruit. I know I keep mentioning in every live that have one citrus fruit a day, but there are diseases where you cannot afford to have citrus fruit. Now again, having citrus fruit and connecting it with psoriasis is basically anecdote based. That means there is no scientific that kind of strong evidence, but yes, of course, since people have said, they have reported that once they have stopped having citrus fruit, the symptoms were better, the inflammation or the spread, the lesion spread was much more under control. So it is suggested that you also avoid, it's better that you also avoid citrus fruits. Now, so if there is no milk and milk product, no gluten, no nightshade vegetables, no citrus fruit, no alcohol, no tobacco, no sugar, then what is left in your diet? Oh, of course, another bad news, all the red meat and processed meat are also you have to stop consuming. So now you can clearly say what is left. Life is not there anymore, right? No, it is not like that actually. You still have many things to add. For example, you can still have rice and rice products, you can have corn, you can have still enjoy, you can have millet, you can still enjoy millets. All the pulses are fine, all kind of pulses, all kind of nuts and seeds are fine. Vegetables, apart from those 4 or 5, you can enjoy anything and everything. And for fruits also, apart from citrus fruit, you can still enjoy banana, papaya, watermelon, chiku, guava, all that fruits. So life is not that dull yet, okay? So you can still, if you plan your diet properly, you can make it out. But now the question is, so if I have psoriasis, shall I remove everything at once? See, what you have to do, you have to go by trial and error. Include, exclude. You see, you include one thing, you see whether the condition is same, or the condition is getting deteriorated, or your condition is improving. Then you take a call. It's very easy, to say people do not have this, do not have this, do not have this. But and I strongly believe this, okay, that you must be in a position to give alternatives. It's very easy to say no, but give alternatives. So that's why I think 100 times before saying no to any food. So basically, yes, of course, you figure out which one amongst this you can go completely, you are okay to forgo this kind of food. Like for example, alcohol, smoking, processed and packaged food. These are anyways not good for you for any kind of condition, correct? So since it is not good for any kind of condition, then why will you keep it? You can easily say no to this three thing, right? Now, let's imagine you are a huge milk lover and you literally struggle to say no to your milk and milk product. Then, okay, fine, let's keep the milk for the end, right? You can still manage with the others. Let's say no to, as I've mentioned, smoking and drinking and all the packaged processed food, that you let go. You can say no. You can try with gluten-free diet, right? Try with gluten free. Then think about dairy and dairy products, right? So you have to basically prioritize, and you have to make your own list. Which one you want to forgo, you want to let go first, right? So that is how we actually, otherwise, overnight stopping everything might be difficult, but yes, of course, you can do one thing, because since I have said, like, there is episodes after episodes, right? So when you have too much of episodes, or you are literally the condition is worst, and you are getting too much of inflammation, too much of lessons and all, and that time go completely free of all this food. Then when the condition improves, then bring back one or two elements which you literally love, right? Then bring back those two elements, see whether the condition is getting worse or not. If it is not getting worse, it is still under control, then please continue to have it in moderation, like in a controlled amount. But once again the episodes are going high, when again you are getting too much of lessons and too much of this problem, then again stop consumption of all these again. Okay, so that's how you have to go. It is pretty much based on your trial and error. Now talking about nightshades and citrus fruit, as I have mentioned, see, the problem with these two is, since these are anecdote based, you have to see whether having potato is increasing your problem or not. So for that, you have to stop potato or a brinjal for say for about 21 days. Okay, just completely stop having this and see whether you are seeing any changes or not, you are seeing any benefit or not, right? Same with citrus fruit, because what happened, in general, it looks like I'm having everything, I'm having a normal diet, but still I'm getting it. Then people get very confused, like, how come diet has a role with it? But sometimes what happens, your body is so allergic to certain food that we don't know, because we know those foods are very healthy. And always allergy doesn't mean that you will have some kind of rashes or breathing trouble or something. Allergy might be so naive that you don't even consider that as allergy, but it's like a constant nagging problem that you are having every single day. So you have to be very, very careful, like how we can manage this entire kind of thing. So immediately after saying no to all the processed food and packaged food, still if you're seeing like, no, I still have this problem and I don't know, like I'm not very sure whether I have identified the correct food or not, then think about saying no to your nightshade vegetables, citrus fruits, and as well as your dairy and gluten products, right? So you have to do it in, take time, because I'll tell this the same thing, for the patients who are suffering from IBS. because it takes time. You cannot get any result overnight for this. You have to be very, very patient, because this is a long term. Whenever there's this kind of autoimmune problem, or this kind of nagging problem, you got to be very, very patient. Okay, so try saying no to one food at a time and see if the condition improves or not. Or else the other way is stop having everything and then start including food one by one. Okay, whatever suits you, you can go by that. Now, is it only diet? Now, if you have psoriasis, let me tell you, it is very, very much related with your stress level as well. The day you're stressed, the lesions, the breakout will be more. The day you're happy, it might be under control. So stress is a very, very important connection. So managing stress is extremely essential if you are having this kind of psoriasis attack. So overall, you have to try to have an anti-inflammatory diet, right? Anti-inflammatory diet. Choose your oil very carefully. As I mentioned always, please say no to your refined oil. Please let go that. Instead, try to have the unrefined kachi ghani or double filtered, this kind of oil, where the fragrance, the color of the original oil is still there, still left. Okay, so that kind of food, that kind of oil is much of a better choice rather than having a colorless, flavorless liquid, which you are calling refined oil. So because refined oil is, again, it's a very, very important inflammatory food in your daily diet. So you think about it, right? I think I have covered pretty much everything regarding psoriasis. Stay happily healthy. Bye bye.